Alright, so I got me another update on my little Aku. Here's the mini variant. I love how they kept the comedy that Aku has in episode 2. Episode 2 at the very beginning was freaking funny. So actually, let me first go on to one thing. Here I printed out the 5-foot diagram of my 5-foot Aku. He's going to be about 5.5 to 6 feet tall in total because I'll be building a base for him. And what I'm going to do with this Aku is I'm going to take this RC car and I'm going to pop the body off. I'm going to build a base around it. That way so I can sit Aku on it and actually drive him around. Basically, like I said previously, my mini Aku is a test bed Aku for when I go for the full size variant right here. That way so I can know what exactly I need to do RC car wise, build wise, and whatnot for when I build the big guy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go outside, drive this thing around, see what it can do, see what it can and cannot do, and then pop the body off and build a little base for him. I want to say one thing though. I'm actually happy that they actually now start using 2.4 gigahertz technology and start using lithium polymer batteries inside these cars, low RC cheap cars. So now I can just charge it directly through my computer and whatnot. And due to this thing using a 2.4 gigahertz technology, the reception is going to be superb. And since this thing has a lithium battery inside it, I could easily adapt a battery bank. If I can find my battery bank. Here. I could easily adapt this battery bank into this car without having to worry about any overloading or anything like that on the motherboard and whatnot. But for right now, I'm gonna go outside, drive this thing around, and see how fast it can go and see what it can do. And since it's a $20 car, I don't expect much. Alright, I am back. I decided to pop the whole thing apart and actually see what makes the thing work. So, well, here's the thing. Here's the chassis. Of course, here's the back transmission. Here's the front transmission. Here's the motherboard. And like I said, this thing runs off a lithium, so I decided to figure out what type of lithium this thing has. It actually has this type of a lithium, which is actually pretty interesting. And of course, here's a 2.4 gigahertz antenna. And I mean, this thing is actually pretty freaking simple. And I'm actually really happy they finally decided to put lithiums and use 2.4 gigahertz inside these cars. So what I'm going to end up doing is that the car still works and everything, but what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up pulling this controller apart and trying to make it look like something that Aku would use or control or whatever. And what I'm also going to do is that this little turbo button right here, I'm actually just going to do a secondary wire and just make it to where it's just a simple on and off switch instead of a simple press switch. That way, so if I just want to have constant turbo, like as you saw when I press it, it responds, I can do so. Considering this car is going to be carrying Aku, my little mini Aku around, this thing may need to have constant turbo to actually have enough power to actually get to haul him around. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this thing back together. I'm going to set up my 2.5 gallon fish tank, get the fish acclimated into that tank, and then I'm going to come back to this thing and start building the base around it. Alright, small update time, or well, there's not really an update because it's going to be mixed into the video, but yeah. So I just drove Aku around for a little while, and I saw it constantly wave back and forth. It's very, very top heavy, and with the face he is making, at times it looks like he's saying, "Get me off this thing." So what I ended up doing was attach some extra little wheels to help the side-to-side motion from him tipping over. The one thing that I was worried about is that whenever I gun him, he'll like to pop wheelies. So I'm going to make a wheelie bar next. But first I'm going to go out and try out this new little rig I built right here to help keep him stabilized. Alright, so I think I got a little ways to go by more or less figured out how to get him to roll around without constantly flipping over or whatnot. I've actually made the wheels actually touch the ground. That way so they act like stabilizers to stop him from constantly gyrating left and right when I was driving him around. He still likes to pop wheelies and whatnot, so I added some wheelie bars, but they were not making it easy for him to turn. So I removed them. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let this thing charge up for around 10 minutes or so. And then I'll go outside and actually show what this thing drives like. But he still has that face of get me off this thing. Alright, one of the very few times I'm actually going to use an Android phone to do a video like this. Since it's gotten a little darker now, I decided to pull out my Android phone due to it being capable of capturing low light a lot more better. Ignore the annoying kids. Gotta get this out of the way. Car coming. And now I'm just going to show you how this thing runs around. Now luckily the remote's small enough to where I can just press this stupid little button right here, which is supposed to be nitrous when it's really just a piece of junk. And I can just use this to steer. Luckily, it doesn't seem to tip over anymore like it used to. Now, of course, that's how fast he is when I use this. But this is how fast he is when I just use the normal throttle settings. So give me a second, I gotta readjust my fingers. As you can tell, he's actually quite slower. But he's also a lot more maneuverable. The one thing I'm going to definitely say is that if it's windy outside, he easily falls over. He either does a wheelie or does a front or tries to go forward and he falls over. I've had that happen quite a few times. And since this is just the test bed variant of Aku I'm working with, I can tell running the big 5-footer around is going to be a challenge to say the least. But one thing's for sure. To run the 5-footer around, I'm not using this little AB RC car. I'm probably going to end up buying probably a $60 or an actual hobby grade RC car to run the 5-footer around. I just hope I can figure out some way to actually make it last a while on a single charge, like at least an hour or so. Well, then again, if I don't drive him around that much at the anime conventions, he should last. But I'll hopefully think of something. But I think the only thing I'm going to do now to this Mini Aku is I'm actually going to cover up the car and the wheels to make it look like he has a clean base he's sitting on. And that's actually just driving him around. But like, oh yeah, and the only other thing I'm really hoping for is, like I stated in another video in the past, I'd like to find someone that can actually do a high-res render of Aku's face. Because as you can tell, he's actually looking upwards for someone that actually does decide to make this. I want Aku to actually be looking straight forward instead of up like he is right now. Because if I look him straight like this, you can clearly tell that his eyes are looking upwards. But yeah, I think overall this is going to be a perfect test bed for me to work with when it comes to building the full size, to build the bigger one. Up. And he fell over. I guess I'll end it here since he's face first in the dirt.